and it says something splendor of the quail or of the pheasant. I think it says rich splendor of fall? Veil? I don't know what this says. Hey guys, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, back with another great video for you today. And in this video, I'm excited to continue my Bring Back the Brooch series and share my next case of vintage brooches with you. That's right, we've already looked at two of my vintage jewelry cases, and now we are into the third one. And this case is relatively small, so you'll get lots of eye candy in today's video because we're going to be able to go through it all. And this case is mainly just my holiday brooches, so everything from Christmas to 4th of July to Halloween is in this case, and it is a whole lot of fun. Now this one is not mealy, it's actually Farrington, I believe. I love this kind of teal aqua leatherette with the gold. I just think it's so fun. I love these vintage jewelry cases. But what's even cooler is when you open it up, it's got vintage starbursts inside. How fun is that? And that pink color is so fun with that aqua. I just love this case. And of course, it's a lot of fun to have all of my holiday brooches in one leatherette jewelry case. Okay, so are you guys ready to see some eye candy? All right, let's go. Okay guys, so the first brooch we're going to be looking at today is one of my absolute favorites. Now I'm going to say this probably about every brooch that we look at today because my brooches are kind of like children. You can't just pick a favorite. You gotta love them all. And this one is extra special. I bought this off of eBay and I just had to have it because it's a Trifari brooch. And I've talked about this a lot on my channel, but Trifari really is an amazing quality company that made amazing brooches throughout the years, and I always look for Trifari because I just think they're so wonderfully well made and their designs are to die for. This is a Christmas tree that just has some really cool details on it. I love the way this is stylized. It looks a lot like, to me, like the trees in a Charlie Brown Christmas or one of those animated movies that just make you feel good and bring back a lot of fun family memories. Now this piece here was designed by Trifari, and Trifari is well known for their brooches. Trifari was started in 1910 by Gustavo Trifari and his uncle. Now there were several marks that Trifari did. This one happens to be a crown Trifari, and I don't think the camera's going to pick it up, but this actually has a little tiny crown over the T. That symbolizes Crown Trifari. Now, Crown Trifari marks go from 1920 to 1950. Now, Trifari did go all the way, I believe, through the 80s. And then in 1925, you'll see a different mark. There's actually a mark KTF, which stands for Trifari, Crustman, and Fischl. So there's several different marks on Trifari brooches to be on the lookout for. But of course, Crown Trifari is always something that people are really, really looking for in the world of collecting brooches because they're just such a nice quality. I love the different color stones on this. You kind of have like a red, a blue, a green, and that blue is sort of a, I don't know what you would call it. It's more of a wintry blue. It just is so beautiful. And then you've got all this cool texture on the tree, and I love how they've done a clear star up at the top. I just think this is gorgeous. It's just such a well-made piece and a whole lot of fun to wear at Christmas time. Now, the next brooch we're going to be looking at today is another one of my favorites because if you know me well, you know how much I love holly berry around Christmas. To me, that is just classic Christmas, and I look for that motif on all my vintage Christmas items because I think it's so wonderful. I love the detail on this brooch. These leaves really come to life because there's so much texture and detail, and I love the way they've done the sharp edges around this brooch because it really symbolizes holly berry. You know, some holly berry is a little little bit more rounded for me, and I really like the way they've done this. And of course, these red berries are just absolutely stunning with this piece. I did have the matching earrings to go along with this brooch, but I did sell those because I cannot wear anything but real gold on my ears. So I had no use for the clip-on earrings, but I still love this brooch. It's absolutely stunning. Now, this piece is not marked, so I do not know who made it. However, it is just so well made. I believe this is probably from the 50s. It is just an absolutely beautiful gold tone brooch, and I just can't get enough of this one. It is to die for. Okay, so the next brooch I'm going to share with you today is really beautiful. This piece is so unique. You see a lot of Santa Clauses and reindeers and Christmas wreaths, but you don't see snowflakes that often, and that's why I had to pick it up. I got this at Fans and Stoves, my favorite places to buy brooches in town, and I just had to have this because it was so unique, and I love the different colored stones in it. It really brings this to life and creates a whole fabulous winter wonderland on your shirt. Now, the nice thing about this is it is a snowflake, so you can wear this all winter long. It's not just a Santa Claus or a stocking or a wreath. It really does add a whole new element of winter time to your brooch collection. Now, this has some really interesting features. I've noticed that the middle stone, that amber stone there, is prong set, and then some of the others are glued in. And then if you look at the faux pearls around the outside, they're prong set. So it's interesting how they constructed this brooch. But what's really cool about it is if you flip it over, there's actually a little loop here, and you could attach a chain to this and wear it as a pendant. So it's kind of a versatile piece. I do think this probably has some age to it. I wouldn't say like 40s, but maybe 50s or 60s, could be 70s. I'm not exactly sure. I'm no jewelry expert by any means, but I'm always learning, and I think this piece is so cool. Now, the next brooch we're going to take a look at is another one that's not marked, but I just had to have it because it's so pretty. And the nice thing about this one is it's really lightweight, so this is so great when you don't want to get bogged down by a heavy brooch and you wear a lot of lightweight things in the winter time, especially here in Florida, because we don't have enough winter to wear a heavy coat. So sometimes we're wearing t-shirts in December. So this is a great brooch for that. It doesn't pull down your shirt. I love the colors on this brooch. It's got some really fun prong set rhinestones and green and red, classic Christmas colors, and then this fun wire wreath design. It's relatively simple, but it's just so classic and really cool. Now, going along with the Christmas theme, I've got another fun Christmas tree, and this guy's pretty special because this is a Christmas tree that I remember my mom wearing growing up. I actually have two brooches that were my mom's, and we would go down to the lighting of the Christmas tree in the Landing, Jacksonville Landing downtown. Unfortunately, they don't have the Landing anymore, but in the 90s to 2000s, that was really the place to go. They had all these restaurants and shops, and it was really magical at Christmas time. And they had a huge Christmas tree, and they would light it up every year in different colors, and you could vote whether it was colored or white. And my mom would MC that event, and I just had a lot of fun watching her wear this brooch, and I have it now, and I just love it. Now, it is missing a stone at the top. This has been worn for many, many years. I just think it's so cool. It's not that old. It's probably from the 90s or 2000s, but it's just a really, really fun little tiny Christmas tree. I think it looks great on a jacket lapel because it's so small, so it kind of fits perfectly in that space. And it's just a really well-made brooch. One of these days, I'll get that stone replaced on the top, and it will be even more fabulous. But how cool is this just to have something from your mom? Now, going along with the brooches that my mom wore, this is another one I remember her wearing quite a bit, not only to the lighting of the Christmas tree, but to church in the winter time. And this is a Rudolph, and he is so cute. He's got all these little fun clear crystals on him, but what's cool is his little nose has the red crystal. I think he's just darling. He's a nice sized pen. He's about 3 inches wide, so he really does make a statement on your shirt. And my mom, again, wore this one a lot, so I have a special connection to it, and I think he's just absolutely fabulous. Now we're going to keep with the Christmas theme, and I am going to share a little mouse with you. Now I picked this guy up from Michelle over at Newton's Cupboard, and I have a thing for mice and of course holly berry, so this really was the perfect fit. This is such a unique brooch. It's a little mouse and he's got kind of like a Christmas tree middle. I don't know who designed this, but he's just fun. He's got a lot of elements going on. Actually, it's probably a girl mouse. And she's got a holly berry in her hair, and then she's wearing like a Christmas tree dress. I mean, she's just so fun. I love that gold tone color on her. Now, she actually is marked, and I don't know if you can see that little mark there, but it's actually Corel. Now, I did some information digging on Corel because honestly, I had never heard of them, and they started in 1971, and what's interesting is they were actually related to the famous Coro. Now, Coro became the property of Richton International in 1969, as well as Oscar de la Renta's brand. And they only were made for about 10 years or so before the company went bankrupt. But they made a lot of Christmas brooches and they're pretty good quality. So I would say be on the lookout for those. And this is just such a fun little mouse. I think that she's just darling. Okay, so the next brooch I'm going to share is really fun. My mom picked this out for me last Christmas and I just love him. He's another Rudolph. But the neat thing about him is he is silver toned and I just love his little green enamel feet. He's just darling, and he's got that fun red sparkly glitzy Christmas shiny bright colored middle section. He's just a lot of fun to wear. Now, when I was growing up, my mom would always give us packages from her, but they were actually from Rudolph or Santa Claus or Mrs. Claus. She would write all these clever things on the packages. She and my grandmother did a really great job at Christmas time with the packages. Grandma was so good at wrapping things up. She made the best ribbons and bows, and then my mom would always have fun with the different labels on the tags. And Rudolph was one of the ones that we often got on our packages, so he's pretty special, and I love that wintry silver tone with the red and the green. Just so fun. Okay, so this next brooch I'm going to share with you, I picked up at Fanton Stoves for only $4. They had an amazing Christmas brooch display last year, and I went in and bought a bunch of Christmas brooches. And yes, this is another Christmas tree, but you can't have too many Christmas trees at Christmas, right? I love the detail on this one. I think it's so unique because my Trifari one has little rhinestones as ornaments, but this one actually has those old-fashioned candles. Now, I have to say, I love a Christmas tree with candles and tinsel. That's just so classic Christmas. But I must question people's sanity when they thought, yeah, let's put lighted candles on a very flammable Christmas tree. That just seems like a fire hazard waiting to happen. But everyone did it and they survived. This piece is so neat. Each candle actually has a different colored rhinestone as the flame, which is so neat. So you've got red, green, gold, silver. I think that's really cool. And there's a lot of cool 3D elements to this. This has a lot of depth and texture and dimension to it that just makes it so fun. Not marked. I don't know who made this. I don't really know the age. Probably maybe 80s, but you guys can let me know in the comments down below. I just think this is so cool, and of course I had to pick it up for only $4. Now we're getting down to the last couple of Christmas brooches I have, and I wanted to share these because these are actually both Hallmark brooches. These are probably 1980s, 1990s, but these are so cool. I love them because they're sort of a resin material. They're not actually metal. And this one I got from Kelly over at Moss Stone Story Vintage. She sent this as friend mail, and I just love this Santa Claus with his little striped candy cane. He is so fun, and I believe, was it Nancy at this Overstuffed House? I'm sorry if I'm getting this mixed up, sent me this snowman. She loves her snowman. I just think that this is so fun. I love having these little Hallmark brooches. They're lightweight, so they're great to throw on a shorter sleeve top in the Florida non-existent winter, and they just have a lot of fun detail, and they just make me happy. I mean, when you see Santa Claus and Frosty, you can't help but smile. So the last Christmas brooch in my vintage holiday jewelry box we're going to be taking a look at today is this absolute stunner that I paid only $2 for. And you guys are going to be screaming at the screen when I tell you what it is. Yes, I paid only $2 for this vintage Weiss brooch. I found it in a grab bag lot. And it was only $2, and I really don't think the person knew what they had. I almost have to say this several times out loud to really believe that this happened, because I was over the moon when I found this piece. Now, as you know, Weiss is a name to look out for. They made a lot of high quality jewelry pieces, and they weren't around that long. Now, Weiss was founded by Albert Weiss. He originally worked for Coro, and then in 1942 started his own company. And unfortunately, the business went to his son in 1969 and failed. They had a lot of financial problems, but they are a jewelry manufacturer that you want to be on the lookout for when it comes to vintage brooches. So this piece is pretty cool. I love the brushed gold with that red enamel. It's just so stunning together. And then you have those holly berry leaves, which you guys know I adore, and all the fun prong set rhinestones. I mean, this is just such a cool stocking. And I really think it's one of my favorite stockings I've ever seen in a brooch. It is so cool. It is marked Weiss. You can see the Weiss in the circle there. So this is really a nice size too. This is probably about a 3-inch brooch, measuring from the tip of the stocking to the top. So it really does make a statement on your shirt. And boy, oh boy, what a find for $2. Okay, so we are continuing on our celebration of all the holidays, and yes, we can still celebrate 4th of July in August, and this piece is so cool. I love the simplicity of it. I picked this up at Fans and Soaps for only a couple of dollars from one of my favorite brooch dealers, and this piece has a lot going for it. It's one of those pieces that is classic and timeless that will never really go out of style, and it's perfect to celebrate America. Now, I love anything with marquee stones. This shape is just so gorgeous to me, and I love things that are prong set, because prong set stones are something that you want to look out for in jewelry. That means that the stones are actually set into a setting with little prongs holding them in, as opposed to being glued, because when stones are glued they tend to fall out, and usually that kind of jewelry is not as well made as something that has prongs holding in each of the stones. Now, I'm not sure if this is milk glass or not. It could be. It definitely seems like it might have some age to it, just judging by the way it was made and how the piece has aged over time. I'm no jewelry expert, so I'm not entirely sure. I'm still learning how to date brooches, but I think that this piece was really a good pickup for only a couple of dollars and something fun to wear on the 4th. Now we're going to continue along with the 4th of July celebrations, and we're going to take a look at this piece. Now this is a rather common brooch. You guys have probably seen it before, but it's one that I think is something that's perfect to pair with something like this. You can kind of do 2 brooches on your shirt at one time and wear sort of a fun little mixture of different things for the 4th. So I had to pick up this wonderful American flag, because everyone I think needs an American flag in their collection. Now these stones are glued in. They're not prong set, and again, this is something that was probably made in the 80s or 90s. They made a lot of these brooches, and they're not worth a whole lot, but they're a lot of fun to wear. I love the detail of the twisted flagpole, and then on the back it actually says "In God We Trust" engraved. Now this one's not marked either, so I'm not sure who made it. It just has some fun detail to it, and it's really a nice combination with my pinwheel 4th of July brooch. Okay, so now that we've celebrated 4th of July and Christmas, we can now celebrate Valentine's Day. And this piece is something that my mom bought for me, and I don't think that it's truly old, but it is really beautiful, and I love wearing this on my jean jacket. Now this is an enameled heart. I love the red enamel and those silver crystal rhinestones. They're so beautiful together. It's just a really fun and simple but stunning piece. And what's cool about this is on the back, back, it's actually a pendant. So you can wear this as a necklace or a brooch, and I kind of love that flexibility on some of these pieces because it really does give you a versatile way to wear some of these. So if you don't have a jean jacket and this brooch is a little heavier, you could wear it as a pendant, which also would make a great statement. Okay, well, I'm doing these in no particular order, so we're just going to celebrate Halloween now. I love Halloween, as many of you guys do in the community, so I'm going to share with you two brooches back to back that are kitty cats that belong to my grandmother, and I love these pieces. This one is sort of like a jelly belly, so it's got a big faux pearl center and then a faux pearl face, fun little faceted rhinestones, and I love the little whiskers and the tail. It's so mid-century modern, very kitschy and fun. I think this probably is from the 50s. It's not marked, but it's something that I believe my grandmother wore quite a bit, and I just love this piece. It is really, really fun for Halloween. And going along with that Halloween and cat theme, here's another brooch that my grandmother wore a lot of. Now, I think I've shared this before, but I like to wear this any time of the year, but it's really great for Halloween because, of course, it's a cat. And this one's fun because it's kind of a wire kitty. He's got this 3D element to him that's so fun. He's got these prong set green eyes, which I just love those. And then these fun little wires going around for his whiskers. And then he's got a little collar made out of faux pearls. And I love the way they've done this. They're all prong set, really, really high quality piece. Again, this one's not marked, so I'm not sure who made it, but I do believe this one's from the 50s or 60s. My grandmother wore this one a ton. I wish I could find a picture of her with this cat brooch on, but my mom remembers it well. And I think that this one is so cool and is always special to have pieces from family. I don't have very many fall or Thanksgiving themed brooches, but I wear this one all the time at Thanksgiving. And this is actually an Avon piece. Now, a lot of people give Avon a bad rap and say, that's stuff from the 70s. Nobody wants it. It's Avon. Just forget about it. But I gotta say, Avon brooches are really well made, and I have quite a few in my collection. And I love this little piece, so don't discount Avon, guys. We gotta bring back the Avon brooch. I love the decorations on this. I think it's so beautiful. It's got kind of like a heavy ceramic middle with this quail. I think it's a quail. You guys can vote what animal it is in the comments. I always need help with my animals. And then it's a faux gold tone around the outside. And again, this is one of those pieces that's pretty versatile because you can wear it as a necklace or as a brooch. So you've got multiple options with this. It is marked Avon. And it says something splendor of the quail or of the pheasant. I think it says rich splendor of fall? I don't know what this says. Rich splendor of the fall of the pheasant. Okay, that's what it says on the back. But this is an Avon piece, and it's really, really nice to wear at Thanksgiving. I love the warm tones with that gold and the white kind of enamel or ceramic middle. It really does just pop. Now, I saved one of my favorite brooches for last, and this is a really cool piece I picked up on Etsy a little while ago for St. Patrick's Day, and oh my goodness, I love this piece. This one is another one that's just not marked, and it's so nice. So I can't tell you really any information about it, but I love the way this is made. So you have this beautiful clover in the gold tone, and it's got this kind of painted green bottom. And then you have these glued in rhinestones with different colors. And then you have another little bow with more green rhinestones and this chain. So you can actually wear it like this. Now, it probably was made to go around the collar of a shirt. It's not a sweater clip because there's not clips on the end, but you probably could wear it as a sweater clip, or just wear it between the two collars and button the shirt all the way up and have this in the middle. Or you can stagger it, which is what I often do on a jean jacket or jean shirt. This piece is so cool. I've never seen anything like it. I actually think I bought this online. It had to be shipped from Ireland, I want to say, so it did take a while to arrive. But it is totally worth the $20 I paid because I think this is so unique, and you don't see a whole lot of St. Patrick's Day things. All right, guys, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at my holiday brooches. I will be continuing this brooch series next week, and we will be into case number 4 of brooches. I do have quite a lot of brooches in my collection, so I hope you will continue to stay along for the ride and tune in for the next series, same time, same place. And before my next video, I'll be seeing you over on Instagram at vintage_and_vinyl. And don't forget to come back tonight for my sale with Patrick, Trusty Huckster Mercantile, at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have a lot of cool vintage for you live. All right, guys. Hope as always you will stay in, stay safe, and Vintage YouTube. Bye-bye now.